Today I'm going to talk about a good tool to have in your workshop is a solder pot. The solder, it's just starting to melt. The solder pot is good because it allows you, if you've got a lot of jobs to do at once, it allows you to do it quickly. I'm going to solder the leads up on the stepper motors today. Now some of them I've made thicker because they're going to go in a connector like this, but I'm also going to have others that go now into 2mm bullet connectors. These are found in the radio control parts section of eBay, and they're fairly cheap. Fit on the wire, particular one, like so, and then just pulls in. So if you've got access to pull the wires apart, you can use one of these. If you have to break some connectors, rather than have a big thick connector, you can have these and it can fit through a tube, and then you can solder other joints together. When you solder, you normally use solder that's got resin in it already. Now, this particular solder you use in the solder pots doesn't have any. You use resin on the actual part you're going to join, then you dip it in. Now, the idea, they're the long bars you buy up at the hardware store and you can cut them up. As you can see, when it cools in the pot, you get a bit of a hole. That's because of the shrinkage. There's a big mass there and we'll wait for it to heat up. To test the temperature if it's hot enough, you can always rub a piece of paper across, and when it turns brown, it should be at the right temperature. But it's easier to buy a $20 infrared laser. This particular one happens to be for left-handers, always upside down. That's saying 61 degrees. It's about 200 odd degrees. And this grey, what you see here, that's oxidization, lead oxide. The thing that wrecks your lead acid batteries. As it melts, it comes in contact with the air and forms a skin. So before you dip your wire or your component in, you need to just scrape that through. So an old peg will do, old wooden peg. So you have your solder pot, your solder, your resin, that's rosin, and then would you use the flux. We'll get back to you, unless you want to watch it melt. I'll get back to you once it has started to melt. It's a nice bright chrome shiner. Since it's lead, you must have it in a well ventilated area. Lead is poisonous and can send some people crazy. So we just put a couple of drops on the wire. Right up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there it is, done. When you have big jobs, I'll tell you that it will cool down and you have to wait for it to heat up again. When you're doing wires, it's always best to have a method. I'm doing the double ones first. Done, done, done. I can't solder by hand that quick. You can put the flux in a little container and dip it that way. But when I done that, I found it dries out and becomes a bit of a treacle paste. So now you just turn it off, let it cool. It'll take a long time to cool. Don't burn yourself. You can remove the excess dross, all the slag and oxide and crap that's floated to the surface. Trouble is, of course, as it cools down, it gets the skin across it anyway. So that's the solder pot. Today I'm going to show you how I solder up the Quad 4A JST power rail. This is the inner components. You can drill 2 holes if you want wires to connect to the board, or if you're only going to use 4, you can just connect it that way. So we're just going to use the solder puck a bit, clean off the surface. Slightly too hot. Yeah. And slide. And there it is. A bit too much. Come out by flicking it, stopped it from joining.